In a grand castle, an evil queen stood before her magic mirror. "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" she asked. The mirror replied, "Snow White is the fairest." Furious, the queen decided Snow White must be eliminated. The queen ordered a hunter to take Snow White deep into the forest and kill her. The hunter, moved by Snow White's beauty and kindness, couldn't do it. Instead, he let her go, telling her to flee and never return. Snow White wandered through the dark, spooky forest. She was scared and tired, but she kept walking, hoping to find shelter. Strange animals watched her curiously, but did not harm her. After hours of wandering, Snow White stumbled upon a small cottage. Curious, she entered the cozy home and found it filled with small furniture. Everything seemed to belong to 7 little people. Inside the cottage, Snow White noticed the house was messy. She decided to clean it up, thinking the owners might let her stay. She also cooked a meal and then laid down to rest in one of the tiny beds. At sunset, the 7 dwarfs, who worked in the diamond mines, returned home. They were surprised to find their cottage clean and a meal prepared. Confused, they looked around and discovered Snow White sleeping in one of their beds. Snow White woke up to the sight of 7 dwarfs looking at her kindly. She explained her story, and they invited her to stay with them. "You can stay, but be careful of the evil queen," they warned. Back at the castle, the queen asked her magic mirror again, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror answered, "Snow White still lives, hidden with the 7 dwarfs." The queen was furious. Disguising herself as an old woman, the queen set out with a poisoned apple. She found the cottage where Snow White was living and offered her the apple as a gift. Snow White, not suspecting any danger, took a bite of the apple. Immediately, she fell to the ground, unconscious. The dwarfs returned to find her lifeless on the floor, unable to wake her. Heartbroken, the dwarfs placed Snow White in a glass coffin, unable to bury her because she looked so beautiful even in death. They stood guard over her day and night, hoping she might wake. One day, a prince who had heard tales of Snow White's beauty came to visit. When he saw her lying in the glass coffin, he was moved by her grace and fell in love with her instantly. The prince leaned over and kissed Snow White. Miraculously, the spell was broken. Snow White woke up, alive and well. The dwarfs rejoiced, dancing with joy around their beloved friend. Snow White thanked the dwarfs for protecting her. She promised to visit them often, even though she was going to live with the prince in his castle. The dwarfs waved goodbye, happy for her new life. Back at the castle, the evil queen asked her mirror again, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" This time, the mirror answered, "Snow White is the fairest, and she is free." Enraged, the queen destroyed the mirror, but her power was broken forever. Snow White and the prince were married in a grand celebration. The 7 dwarfs attended, and everyone lived happily ever after, free from the evil queen's jealousy. The end.